Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I never planned on becoming a single dad at 29, and I definitely never planned on taking in a teenage girl who showed up at my door with no past, no paperwork, and eyes that looked like they'd already seen too much of the world. But life doesn't ask for permission before it flips your script, and this story right here is proof of that. Back in 2002, my life was small but honest. I lived in a 2-bedroom house on the edge of town, worked long shifts fixing HVAC units, and came home every night to my son, Noah. His mom had passed away when he was a baby, and from that moment on, it was just the two of us against the world. I learned how to braid hair by practicing on a doll, learned how to cook meals that didn't come from a box, and learned how to keep moving even when the loneliness felt heavier than my tool bag. One rainy evening, I was putting Noah to bed when there was a knock at the door. Not a polite knock, not an angry knock, just a soft, hesitant tapping, like whoever was out there wasn't sure they were allowed to exist. I opened the door and found a girl standing on my porch, soaked to the bone, clutching a backpack that looked older than she was. She couldn't have been more than 14 or 15. She didn't ask for money, she didn't ask for food. She just said, "I'm sorry," like she'd already done something wrong by showing up. I asked her name. She hesitated. Then she said, "I don't know." At first I thought she was joking or scared. I asked again, slower. She shook her head. No ID, no phone, no address. She said she woke up weeks ago in a shelter 3 towns away, with no memory of who she was or where she came from. They eventually told her she couldn't stay anymore. I should have called the police. I know that now, but back then, all I saw was a kid standing in the rain, and something in me couldn't shut the door. So I handed her a towel, told her to come inside, and promised myself it would only be for one night. One night turned into a week turned into months. She chose the name Lily because there were flowers like that in my yard. She barely spoke at first. She'd flinch at loud noises, wake up from nightmares she couldn't explain, and stare at old family photos on my wall like they were supposed to mean something to her. Noah, who was 6 at the time, accepted her without question. Kids are better at that than adults. He just said, "She can have my extra pillow." Like that settled everything. We tried doctors. We tried therapists. They said memory loss like this was rare but possible, usually tied to trauma. No missing persons report matched her description. No one came looking. So we built a life anyway. Lily learned how to laugh again. She helped Noah with homework, burned pancakes with me on Sunday mornings, and slowly stopped sleeping with the lights on. She called me dad by accident one day and froze, waiting for me to correct her. I didn't. I just nodded like it had always been that way. Years passed. The world changed. Lily grew taller, stronger, sharper. She had a way of reading people that made me uneasy sometimes, like she'd been trained to do it. She spoke with no accent but picked up languages frighteningly fast at school. Teachers would pull me aside and ask where she'd learned things she was never taught. Then one afternoon, in the fall of 2002, everything cracked open. I came home to find a black sedan parked across the street, so polished it reflected the sky. 2 men in suits stood by it, scanning the neighborhood like they were looking for a threat. Lily was sitting at the kitchen table, pale as a ghost, hands trembling. She said they'd shown her a photo. The photo was of a little girl, maybe 6 years old, standing beside a man in a tailored suit in front of a private jet. The girl had the same eyes, same scar near the eyebrow, same face Lily saw every morning in the mirror. The man was one of the wealthiest billionaires in the country. Back in early 2002, his daughter had vanished during a private flight layover. The case went cold. Media moved on. Money couldn't buy answers. Until now, the men asked questions politely, but everything about them screamed power. They wanted Lily to come with them for DNA testing. They said it could all be a mistake. They said they'd bring her back if it was. I told them no. I said Lily wasn't going anywhere without a court order. I said she was my daughter, and I meant it. They left without arguing, which scared me more than if they had pushed. A week later, the official papers arrived. Court summons, DNA confirmation. Lily was, beyond any doubt, the missing daughter of a billionaire who'd spent years searching for her. The man himself came to see her. He didn't arrive with cameras or speeches, just a tired face and eyes full of regret. He told her about the day she disappeared, about the chaos, about how he never stopped blaming himself. He said he wanted to take her home. Lily listened quietly. Then she asked him a question I'll never forget. "Where were you when I was scared?" He didn't have an answer. The court proceedings were brutal. Lawyers spoke like Lily was property, like her heart was a detail to be negotiated. They praised my kindness while reminding everyone I was just a single dad with no legal claim. The billionaire offered me money, a lot of it, enough to change my life forever. I refused it all. In the end, Lily made the choice. Old enough, clear-minded, she chose to stay with me and Noah, at least for now. The court granted shared guardianship, something unheard of at the time. She split her life between 2 worlds, one of unimaginable wealth and one of mismatched socks and burnt pancakes. She never forgot where she came from, but she also never forgot who stayed when no one else did. Years later, Lily funded scholarships for kids who fell through the cracks. She built shelters with doors that never closed on rainy nights. And every Father's Day, she came home, sat at my kitchen table, and called me Dad without hesitation. I didn't save a billionaire's daughter. I just opened a door when a child needed one. And sometimes, that's enough to change everything. If this story moved you even a little, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who believes family isn't always about blood, but about who shows up when it matters most.